Hello, everyone. This is Nick from New York, and this is an episode of DS247. We're just going to go over some WWE news and rumors heading into Great Balls of Fire. I'm joined, as always, with my co-host, Billy. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just waiting for this thing to start later on.
Yeah.
Killing the day.
Apparently, there's no ice cream available anywhere in England, guys, after 5 o'clock, so... Billy's trying to stay cool over there. Is it still hot as shit over there, man?
Yeah, I've just wiped myself literally 30 seconds before I came on, and I'm like sweating on my forehead again. But nothing I can do about it.
Right.
I could just do this show outside, so it's more like justifiable. But yeah, there's no ice cream. Like, you can get ice cream from a supermarket.
Right. But they all close at 5 o'clock, right? And
they close at 5 o'clock, and this is a Sunday. And even if you did get it from there, you'd have to buy like a pack of 4 to 10. Four's like
right.
So they're not open anyway. So I thought that they sold them in off licenses, which are these places that sell cigarettes and alcohol.
Yeah.
Up to 11 o'clock. They don't actually have ice cream. They have chocolate, but no ice cream. So the only place to get ice cream in a week would be ice cream vans outside schools, and then supermarkets, obviously, all year round.
Right.
And McDonald's have the one ice cream, like McFlurries and that.
Yeah, McFlurry, yeah.
And that's about it. Like, it's not really a big thing. We have like ice cream in the cinema, but I now am at the point where should I walk down to the cinema and pay £4 for a scoop of ice cream? This is what I'm contemplating right now.
All right, so we recorded a bunch of news this week that basically what the results are going to be for Great Balls of Fire. Yeah, so Samoa Joe is going to lose, as is Roman Reigns. There's nothing new there, but our competition is reporting that there's a little bit more mystery surrounding these finishes. There are some people reporting that it's going back and forth on here.
No, it isn't. It's bullshit. It's just fucking clickbait bullshit. Like, these results, Dave Meltzer's a fucking liar as well. Or he's not a liar, he just makes shit up because he saw the Roman announcement and thought there was more to it. So he made up an entire story about it, which I'm sure he'll say that they went back and forth. Because when he's wrong, and then another source reports it, like us, because we have some like credibility when we should have a lot more than we do.
Right.
So Meltzer says it's Roman is winning, and we correctly said it was Strowman because Strowman will win, and we've said that from the beginning. So he's completely wrong. I don't know why Meltzer's relevant in 2017. Do
you think he just does it to generate traffic? Because if he reports one story, that's one day's worth of traffic. But if he reports it back and forth and back and forth,
he needs to just fuck off. He needs to just go move to Japan with Kenny Omega, get married, and adopt some Japanese children. Like, that's what he should do. He's got no relevance at all.
Right.
He's completely wrong, like, on this story, to the point where the source that I have pointed out that this isn't even a fucking conversation about Roman Reigns. Like, Roman Reigns and Brock is the match. Nobody talked about changing it. If a writer had even broached the subject, they would have turned around and said, "You're a fucking idiot.
Right.
Why do you work here?" That's the kind of response that it would have generated. Like,
because it seems like WWE always has kind of what they plan for WrestleMania going forward, always planned out well ahead of time.
Yeah, and if Vince wants to change it, then no one's going to say shit to him. So that's fine because he owns the thing. But no one else is going to turn around and go, "Yo, hey Vince, like, how about we change the only thing that we're working towards for the whole year?" Even though it is, like, don't get me wrong, it's shitty and it like stalls the product for the entire year because we know Roman's getting the belt, we know Brock's beating everybody. Like, there's no intrigue for me tonight with the Joe match. I'm interested to see. I'm interested.
Well, there's a lot of people saying that they love Joe and maybe Joe is going to win this match and become the Universal Championship. But I think this is one and done. I think this is it. He's going to lose and that's it.
Yeah, I like Joe and I like the build-up, and I'm interested as a fan to see how much offense he gets and how creative they get with the finish and how he's protected in this match, if at all. Like, I'm looking at it from a more logical standpoint as someone that reports accurate news.
Right.
So I don't understand Meltzer. I honestly don't. Like, he reported that the main event was Roman and Lesnar, which he was correct about. I mean,
he's correct a lot of the time, but then he like goes back and forth. He never commits to anything fully. It's always, oh, plans might change. This is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. They're always, plans are always going to change and all that stuff. And then he reports the opposite. Then he goes back. It just seems like it's almost a strategy for him to try to protect himself if he's ever wrong.
Yeah, that's what we were saying with Vince Russo, weren't we? That there is no news.
Right.
Like for us, the breaking news can only be done 2-3 times a week. All this shit, like when he was mocking the news about Paige and Del Rio and saying it isn't news that they had a fight, which it isn't. There isn't enough news to keep going on and on and on and reporting stuff every single day. Like,
well, you want to that brings us into a transition. You want to talk about what's going on with Del Rio, because he seems like he's on drugs, dude. With what he's tweeting about challenging Xavier Woods to a fight at his bar in San Antonio, and Paige is sitting at Impact in a lucha mask in the front row. Like, what the fuck is going on with those two?
I don't understand these things, because, like, if I go out with a girl and somebody else fucked her like 3 years before I even had a conversation with her, I'm not going to pursue that person. Like, it's fine. It's just the past. I don't understand. I don't understand the guy. Like, friends, mutual friends, like, that we have in terms of, well, not mutual friends. Yeah, mutual friends. Not me and him aren't friends, but I am friends with people that are friends of him. Like, they don't understand what's going on with him. So
yeah, he seems like he's lost it a little bit, dude. Like, he's to the point of where he's doing stuff that Impact or GFW isn't happy with, cutting shoot promos on the WWE to the point of where they have to turn up his music, so they're drowning him out. He seems like a loose cannon, like he's someone like who's not making rational decisions.
Then why do you put the belt on him then last weekend?
Because they're whores for publicity.
But he's bad, like, in every way. Like, he's in a bad mental state right now, so he needs to get that sorted out.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And it's not smart to challenge, like, people to a violent confrontation. Didn't he just get arrested with his brother last year in Europe?
Yeah, I mean, him and Payne have been arrested for, like, a domestic or something as well, haven't they?
Yeah, and he got stabbed, right, at a bar or something. It seems like they're on, like, a downward spiral, if you ask me. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste any time, like, covering those guys. I mean, it's been said to us numerous times that it's a bad relationship. Like, even their friends feel that way. Like, I know people on this side of the water, like her dad and stuff, and no one likes it. I have no friends that I know his friends, and they don't like it. So,
is Paige going to ever wrestle in the WWE again? I don't think so. I think the only reason I think it might happen is if she is because of that movie that The Rock's making. But I wouldn't be surprised if that got canceled.
If she gets out of this situation soon enough, then she will. But if not, then no.
That's it. Yeah.
I would say that this needs to conclude before the end of the year. That might be enough time. If this goes into the next year, or they do that crazy wedding, or they rush it or something and go to Vegas or whatever, then she won't. I don't think. God, it's
so another news story that has kind of come across today is Finn Balor had some remarks on Conor McGregor possibly being part of the WWE at some point in the future. Do you think that that's a possibility? Because I have a feeling that Conor McGregor is going to make a few $100 million after this fight and never do anything ever again.
No, WWE is the bottom payer in this pyramid.
Yeah.
The boxing pays up here, like in your $75 million category.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. And then for a UFC fight, it comes down to about $5 million that he can probably make.
Yeah.
And the WWE can probably offer what? For a one-off appearance,
A million.
Which is all it could be. What, maybe 1 million they would be willing
$1
to
million.
pay?
Yeah, that's the only thing I could figure.
2 maximum. So how can he be a permanent part? I don't even know why they're embarrassing themselves by talking about Conor McGregor. It's fucking nothing to do with them at all.
Well, they're getting asked about it. That's what happened with Finn Balor. He was asked in an interview, what is, if he ever saw it, and he kind of was non-committal, kind of compared him to Enzo. He would kind of said Enzo Amore is our Conor McGregor.
Oh, fuck's sake, really?
Yeah.
I don't think these guys, honestly, like this is the problem with these new wrestlers. They're not in touch with stuff. Like, I don't think that they watch real sports. Like, I think the older guys watched NFL and stuff and were more into that kind of thing and played sports and watched sports. And I think these guys are just nerds that went to wrestling school and then went on the independents, and their fans are nerds as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they watch sports or have a clue what they're talking about when they say stupid shit like that. Like, Conor McGregor is not a fucking cartoon character. Conor McGregor is a fucking knockout.
He's a tough guy. He's a badass.
Yeah, he hits you with his left and you're gone. I mean, he won't touch Mayweather. The fight's a fucking joke. I mean, Mayweather's not going to get a scratch. Mayweather will win every round. If it even goes to the end, Mayweather hasn't stopped anyone since 2011, I believe, but I think he'll stop Conor McGregor just based on pure amount of volume and the amount of and the cardio difference, because Conor's never been anywhere near 36 minutes. But as far as being in the position that he's in, this isn't like, fucking Triple H can now go and fight against Anthony Joshua at heavyweight. And let's just all mash sports. Like, wrestling isn't a fucking sport. Like, nobody won a belt.
No, it's a television show. It's a fucking television show.
We always say, don't we? Nobody won anything. Nobody won a title.
Right.
If there's no title changes tonight, but if we were talking about a pay-per-view where there were, then we would be saying, like, nobody's really going to win a belt tonight. Like, somebody wrote it down for them. And
AJ Styles didn't win the title at Madison Square Garden. They wrote that plot for a DVD. Exactly,
and I think these comparisons are just stupid. There's no Enzo Amore and Conor McGregor. Like, honestly, there's nothing there at all. Like,
do you think that's a directive from the company? Because Enzo's been mentioning him on TV here and there as well.
How much money is that little dickhead Enzo Amore made?
Maybe.
I mean, that's harsh, because I don't even dislike Enzo Amore. Like, I just dislike the association and the desperation. But how much money has Enzo Amore made the company? Like, what spot on the card is his match tonight when he loses against Kaz?
It's going to be one of the lowest matches.
Yeah, so he's not even drawing this tiny little pay-per-view with a shit name.
Yeah.
So what's he got to do with Conor McGregor?
I guess it's just the comparison is the ability to smack talk.
That's not what Conor McGregor is.
He smack talks, but he also knocks people out and gets punched in the face for real for a living.
Yeah, like, he'll sell a fight. He sells his fight doing that and stuff, but Mayweather does that too. But both of them are the best in what they do. I mean, I think Mayweather's a different level because he's fought every boxer. I don't think Conor's fought everyone that there is to fight in the UFC. I think there's some people. I think his opponents have been quite nicely picked out for him.
Right.
I mean, surprised he knocked Aldo out so quickly, and I'm surprised that Eddie Alvarez didn't do anything against him. But Nate Diaz exposed him a little bit, and he beat him the first time. And the second fight was, a lot of people thought that Diaz won. It was only 3 rounds to 2 to Conor. It was only 48-47 on most cards. So yeah, I mean, Conor's really good at the talking, but then he's got something to, like, back it up. Enzo Amore's done nothing. He's not even booked to be good.
No, he's booked to be the underdog loser.
Yeah, the WWE need to shut the fuck up about this, honestly. Unless Conor McGregor is coming in.
Unless he already made an agreement and this is all part of the build. Which is possible.
If he's coming in to do Raw, which I don't think he is, because Dana White would never allow it. He would never allow the tone of this fight to be taken down that route. It's just UFC, like, is super serious, and that's how Dana wants it to be. And I don't think that it benefits them to do Monday Night Raw. I think the fight sells itself. They're doing
How
well.
much was Mayweather's payday at WrestleMania?
I know Tyson's was 4 million, and then they lied and said Mayweather's was 20, which it was no way near. It was a made up figure. I would have said it would have been about 2.
Right.
You'll probably find out if you look it up, but I think it was about 2.
Right. Okay. Well, we just talked about one of the lowest matches on the card. Let's talk about the lowest division.
My cat in. Just keep rolling. I can hear you if you talk.
The Wrestle Kitty, right? What do you think the story was behind Austin Aries' release this week?
I know about this, but I haven't run a story about it. So Aries, as it got down to extreme rules, Aries didn't want to win that championship,
right?
Because he wanted to be out of the division. So they booked the match for Neville to win, and they took him off TV. So when he had his meeting, I believe it was 4 days before he was released. Because was he released on Thursday or Friday?
It was one of the two. I think it was Thursday.
Either way, on the Monday they had some stuff for him. I think from what I'm told, I don't think I was told, so I don't know, that he was involved going to SmackDown, but it was along the lines of working with Corbin after SummerSlam, and,
right.
And primarily making him look pretty good. So right. I don't think Aries was up for it, and I think that was it.
Well, he tweeted something or made a statement that he was going to take a few days after off because he was injured. He wanted to see how he felt. And then I've seen, the reports about not wanting to be pigeonholed in the cruiserweight division.
100%, because he was going to win the title, and now Neville's going to run with that thing for a while, even longer. I think he's like Oscar. There is no one, you can't see anyone who's going to beat them, kind of thing.
Right, but do you think there's any truth to the rumor that, or not rumor, but the idea that Austin Aries is notoriously hard to work with, and he was rubbing people the wrong way, and they were kind of happy to see him go?
No, someone made that up.
Right.
Someone made it up. There was no, I didn't hear, and I mean that might have been the stuff in the past, but his issues, I believe he had issues with Vince Russo at one point. Yeah. And a couple of people had, because Vince, we've had Vince on, and we like him, but you can see how he attaches himself to ideas, and Vince, the reason Vince is successful is because he'll commit to his ideas, and he'll sell them to you, and I imagine it's very hard to get him to back on them.
Yeah, compromise.
And Aries kind of seems like the same person, but in the WWE this time round, I guess we could talk about it now. He was not very happy with the fact that from the beginning that his big storyline was scrapped, where he was going to be the GM.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So Austin Aries was slated to be the GM until they hired Kurt Angle. I mean, you've been sitting on that for a while, Billy. Why don't you tell us what you know about that?
Yeah, so he was supposed to be the general manager of Raw, and then they signed Kurt Angle and changed it. And the whole thing with Corey, they were setting up with Austin Aries where they were supposed to be friends, and Corey was going to screw his friend over slowly out of the GM job. But now,
right.
Now Kurt Angle's doing it, which makes a lot less sense. And also, it's going to be a Triple H match at the end, which is senseless and stupid. It's a stupid end to the storyline, and it doesn't make sense because you get nothing out of that match. You get nothing out of beating Triple H, and you get nothing out of a new talent. Triple H and Kurt could have done jobs at WrestleMania 34 to two new, Balor and Rollins or something.
Right. Okay, everyone, we're going to close it out there. Thanks so much for watching this episode of DS247. As always, please rate, review, give us a like down below, leave us a comment, let us know what you think about this video. Helps us decide what other videos we're going to do in the future. Also, please subscribe to us on YouTube. It helps us out and it helps you out big time, because as soon as the news goes out, as soon as we go live or post a video, you will get an alert and you will be the first to know any breaking WWE news. Once again, thanks so much for watching and stay tuned.